What it is, guys, it's your Dino. We're back with another reaction video to an event. This one is for the Nintendo Direct for the 8th of February 2023, and we're gonna get straight into it with Pikmin 4. Now, just to premise this, I have edited the video down from what they did. It was an hour-long event, and I've taken what I feel is the best and the best talking points of the entire thing. The video is in the top left, muted, so you guys can't hear what's going on. You can see it. I have clipped out bits that I want to show off. You can watch the entirety of the whole thing in all beauty, link down below for you guys to check out. So I have never really been a big Pikmin fan. I will premise that straight away. Never really been a big Pikmin fan. I do think that they're fun games to play, but overall never really got the mass appeal of it. I feel like this game looks amazingly beautiful. Don't get me wrong, I feel like if this is how it looks when you play it on your Switch, it's gonna look absolutely amazing. But here's my big premise. As I've said before, I still personally believe that the Nintendo Switch is in dire need of an entire SoC upgrade. Now, for those who don't know what SoC means, it means system on a chip. It is the part of the console, it's the thing that makes it work. It's the brains, it's the CPU, it's the GPU, and it basically makes the thing run the way it does and give us the frame rates it gives us. Now, I've played a lot of Nintendo Switch games over the course of its life cycle, and I've played a variety of different games. Now, my personal preference is I will only play games that are targeted to exclusives on the Nintendo Switch, or if getting them on the Nintendo Switch is cheaper. Now, that being said, I feel like if it's an exclusive, it should run at a locked frame rate of at least 60 FPS. Now, I don't care if the game runs at 720 or 1080 or 1440. I personally believe that the Nintendo Switch should never be above 1440p, because that's what most people game at nowadays. And there are SoCs that Nvidia, who are their partners, make for them to be able to run their games at 1440p 60 FPS with no problem. It just requires them to buy new parts. But that being said, that's my opinion. I feel like the whole system is great. It's not got a problem, but this is my opinion on the SoC. And I feel like, given the fact that the Nintendo Switch has been going for a very long time, games like Pikmin may struggle holding a 60 FPS at, say, at least 1080p, which is what the console aims for most of the time. I've played Hyrule Warriors, which has dropped to frame rates below 30 FPS, and I wouldn't want that to be the case with some of the games that are coming out on the platform outside of this Direct. Now, Pikmin 4 looks absolutely beautiful. I think they've done a really good job of it. I feel like it looks like it has a lot to offer, and they've given it a cool release date of the 21st of the 7th, 2023. We go straight into the next one. This is for Dead Cells. Now, Dead Cells has been out for a while, but this is its new DLC, Return to Castlevania, which comes out on the 6th of March. Now, for those who don't know, Dead Cells is a roguelike game that basically allows you to make repeated runs over and over and over again to see how far you can get, and then improve and get stronger, and so on and so forth. And that's how you eventually complete the game, by making yourself much stronger enough to get through the game to be able to do certain things. Now, with this new DLC, they've introduced Return to Castlevania. You're gonna team up with the family and take down Dracula and Death. It's gonna be really cool. But this is a game that I think is probably gonna go under the radar for a lot of people. It is Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon. Now, I love the Bayonetta franchise. I feel like this is probably a great left turn for the franchise to create a story that isn't as high impact and isn't as demanding for the platform. Because, as I said before at the start of the video, the SoC of the Nintendo Switch is struggling. Bayonetta doesn't run at 1080p 60 FPS, let's be honest, and if it did, it would be an amazingly beautiful game to play and experience. But I feel like this is them slowing down, realizing that the limitations of the console mean that they can't do as graphically intensive games like they would do with the full power of a console like the Xbox or the PlayStation or PC. But because of the fact that they are trying to make it as appealing as possible, I feel like this game really does set a high bar for the Bayonetta franchise. Like they are really going above and beyond to make it a really good looking game, and I think that this game holds a lot of potential, and I think you should definitely check this one out. March 17th 2023. Now the next one is something that is a bugbear to me. It's a series of things that you'll see. It's expansion passes. Expansion passes are something that, in my opinion, I feel like Nintendo has doubled and tripled down on heavily this console generation for them, and I've seen them more than ever in this Nintendo Switch generation than ever for Nintendo to do. And they've noticed that the success of the Pokemon expansion pass that they did for Sword and Shield, and I feel like they've seen that that accepted model do really well, and they've gone, right, well, let's just throw an expansion pass on pretty much everything. They've done it with like a dozen games now. They've got it on this one, and what I've done is I've taken all the different expansion pass things and I've grouped them together just to get them out of the way on the video. You can skip forward. I will put a little timestamp on each thing so you can know when each of the different things are done. But Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Volume 3, 16th of February, gets his expansion pass. Next one as we go into it is Fire Emblem's Engage's expansion pass. Again, more characters, more actual gameplay, and don't get me wrong, I get that sometimes devs will make additional content to tell a story after the release of their intended game done, because stuff ends up on the cutting room floor to meet deadlines and stuff. But if it's done right and they don't cut out core game and throw it into an expansion pass, I have no problem with that. But adding extra characters from their original games into this one, I don't know, I feel like it's just a cash grab in my opinion for Fire Emblem. I get that Engage is bringing back emblems from different genres and different platforms and bringing them in a new way, but I just feel like that's a cash grab in my opinion. Disagree with me if you want. Let me know what you think on that one. Sound off in the comments. Again, we always rate these things from A to F. If you guys have an opinion of what I've shown off, or you've checked out the full length video, which is again linked down in the description, you guys can check that out there and let me know what you think. And I will do a poll of the day regarding this one today, so you guys can also sound off there as well if you aren't gonna go and check out the full thing based on what you saw from my video. So the booster course pass is again them milking more Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which was originally a Wii U title, for as much as they can out of it. And don't get me wrong, there are still people that absolutely love this game and still play it to this day. I have it, I love playing it, I play it for my own enjoyment. It's super fun. I haven't picked up the booster pass because I just didn't feel like I played it enough to warrant buying it, but I would love to play all the extra tracks, but I just haven't got around to doing it. It's expensive, and I want to get games more than just packs personally. And then we finish off with Splatoon. Now, I'm not a big Splatoon fan, so I've cut out all the talking and them exploring the different places. I showed you the main information, Wave 1 and Wave 2. The first part of the pass is available now, and then we'll go to the next one. Now, Square Enix is company I work with on a regular basis. I love them. I think they're great. Octopath Traveler 2 is something I'm very much looking forward to. The fact that there is going to be a demo available now that you guys can check out if you wanted to give Octopath Traveler 2 a quick go and see if it's your kind of game. It's this 2.5D JRPG style that has become really popular of late, and I feel like it's really cool, and I think that there is a lot of potential here. Now, this next one, this is a game that is on my one to watch. Sabotage Studios' Sea of Stars, 29th of the 8th, 2023. I definitely want this game, and I want it to be well received, and I feel like it has a lot of potential to do so. It is definitely one of those old school throwback styles, and I feel like it has a lot of potential to do absolutely amazing. It gives me vibes of Legend of Mana and some other different JRPGs at the same time, like Breath of Fire and so many other different styles out there. But that's a really cool thing. Now, this is one that ties into something that is a really big bugbear for me. Now, I've noticed over the course of the time that Nintendo have dropped more online co-op play features in favor of couch co-op. This being one of those games. This is a new game that they've worked with Disney on, and it is 4-player couch co-op only, based on what they've said in this trailer. Now, I'm not a fan of that. As a person who doesn't go out much, doesn't socialize outside of the internet and using games to socialize, I feel like this is a missed opportunity to get some Disney fans together to play a Disney platformer in a unique art style that is from way back when, and I feel like it's just a missed opportunity, and it could be down to the limitations of the console, which is more than likely my opinion there. I feel like that is where I feel like it's probably leaning. Console is the weak link here, and it isn't strong enough to support 4-player co-op of this style to run the game. But 28th of July, Illusion Island looks really cool, and I think it has a lot of potential, and I would love to see what they do with it. Now, this is another one. It is the Kirby game. Now, the Kirby game has some unique features in it. It's added in more stuff. I think it's an enhanced version of a previous game. That's why it's got the deluxe title on it. Now, it's got this unique little character here who has an epilogue to him, which is the added content that they put into the game to make it the deluxe version. Magalore is his name. Name always tripped me up. Now, I like what they've done with that, but they have added another couch co-op 4-player feature mode that you can play and try out now. As of this recording, it's available. You can go and give it a check out. There is some 4-player like mini games within this game that they've added, but again, it is, in my opinion, another missed opportunity to add in an online component. They could do some fun mini games that you can play with some people, just pick up, play, and have some fun. Even if it was private peer-to-peer based stuff, it could be done, and I think that it's a missed opportunity. But 4-player co-op online should be a thing. We live in an age where something as simple as online connection shouldn't be an issue. But again, it's one of those that I feel like Nintendo are shying away from the online side of things because they don't have faith in it, or they don't feel like it's used as much, probably because it's so buggy and doesn't work right, because they don't have the infrastructure in place to support it. Now, that's just my opinion. I don't know 100% on that. I'm just voicing my opinion on that. But it does look good. 24th of February, it does look like it's going to be fun. Definitely think some people would enjoy that one. That's why I left it in the video. Now, these are like throwback games that I feel have, like, they're like a classic that a lot of people might not have been aware of. Etrian Odyssey. There is a triple pack collection that you can play, and you can pick them up or pick them up individually. It's an RPG game, but it's done in like a the best way to describe it would be like a D&D style where you draw the map out and your character will move through it, and then you do the JRPG side of it with the fighting of the monsters and stuff. Here, like this, it's you never actually see your characters outside of the selection screen, but it's in my way of thinking, it's very done in the way of it being D&D. Now, I like that, but I've never really been a fan of them myself, but I do love watching them be played. I think that the Etrian Odyssey series is a hidden gem, and a lot of people may actually end up liking them as a relaxing RPG game to play. June 1st is its release date, and I feel like it has a lot of potential. And now the second part of this one is a game that was put on hold for a while because of current affairs in the world. Now, obviously, I won't go into it because I want to stress people out, but Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp was put on hiatus and held because of stuff that was going on in the real world. So Nintendo decided to put the game on the shelf and say, we will come back to it when things seem a little bit more calmer to approach what the term war. And so they put it on hold, and now it's coming out finally, April 21st. So there are going to be lots of people that may be excited for this one, and you can pre-order it again. So that's going to be cool. Now, the next one is Nintendo Online. Now, obviously everyone knows that Nintendo Online, if you pay for Nintendo Online, you get certain access to certain things like NES, Super NES and stuff like that. They're adding Game Boy now. Finally, they're adding Game Boy and Game Boy Color palettes. So you can play certain Game Boy games, Tetris being one of them. When I saw that, when I was very excited, I love Tetris. Tetris is a game I could spend hours and hours and hours playing because it's just great. Just a vibe away to the music and just enjoy. Now, this is something that I understand why it's done, but it irks me. Having certain consoles locked to the expansion pass for PlayStation, for Nintendo Online, is kind of poopy in my opinion. I don't like the fact that they're going to lock certain consoles like the Nintendo 64, and as of this announcement, the Game Boy Advance games behind that paywall of Nintendo Online expansion pass plus thing, whatever they want to call it. And I don't like that. I feel like if you're not going to offer a solid service, don't expect people to pay additional money for a service that don't work right, just to use your IPs as a bait and hook to get people in just to play your janky online service that you won't invest money in to improve. That being said, I feel like the additional offerings that they have shown off in this are quite strong, that they are showing off some very interesting games, and the fact that they show off a roadmap of 2 additional Zeldas, Pokemon trading card game, and Kirby for the Game Boy one, and they show off for the Game Boy Advance some pretty interesting stuff straight out of the gate. They hit people hard with Zelda the Minish Cap right here. They show off that straight away in this one. You get that Switch Online Plus expansion pack stuff, and then they show off yet again more Mario stuff. I mean, yeah, I get he's your platform mascot, but there is only so much Mario that people can take, and there are a lot more Game Boy Advance games out there that I feel that people would be screaming and clamoring for, i.e. the Pokemon games, but I doubt they'll do them. And I don't get why they brought Super Circuit in when people play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe more. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, I feel like that's a good addition. And obviously, like I said before, the Minish Cap, that is a seller right there. That could get a lot of people involved in the expansion pass very easily because of that one game alone. They'll probably see an uptake in purchases of that extra pass just for that. And the fact that it's got Metroid on there, Metroid Fusion, and some other extra Game Boy Advance games in there, I definitely see people getting involved with that plus subscription service that they do just to get access to those. And then this is me reordering the way that they announced this in the way I think that they should have done it to build up to a crescendo at the end of the event. A new Fantasy Life game. And I know that there were people clamoring for this because my partner was one of them. Fantasy Life I, the Girl Who Steals Time. I know that a lot of people may or may not have played the first one, which was on the 3DS, and it did have a big following as far as I'm aware. They had the people that played it loved the game, but to see them make a new game for this franchise is good. I feel like it's a nice way of them giving back to the people that have asked for it, and I feel that's a good one. So to see them bring in My Fantasy Life Plus, or I, whatever you want to call it, is really cool. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of people who want to play this one and will probably spend many hours playing this one. And I feel like it's a nice addition to see them add it in. The way that they added it in the direct, I feel like it was added at the wrong time from an editorial point. I feel like they added it in just to build hype for another game, which is this one, Professor Layton. Professor Layton is getting a new game, and it is this one, The New World of Steam. There's no release date or anything for it. They just like, hey, look, this is coming. And I feel like they did a very good job of that. And then comes the sizzle reel. The sizzle reel of games that they don't have enough to show on, or weren't ready to show enough on working on console. So Minecraft Legends obviously is a first party title from Microsoft. Blank comes out next week, comes out in 5 days. That's going to be interesting to see. I feel like that's going to be a good one for people to play. You play as the deer and the little foxy at the same time. Mega Man Battle Network, was never really a fan of the Battle Network games, but I know there's a lot of them, and I know a lot of people love them. I was never a fan of them. I didn't think that they were that great. And then this is one that I've been watching for a while. Have a Nice Death. This is a very weird, like, beat 'em up, hack 'em up kind of thing that makes me think of Hades meets, say, any other like beat 'em up game out there, and then a weird Nintendo Wii-esque chicken finger baseball game, and the next area add-on for Disney Dreamlight, which is the Lion King, obviously, by the fact that you see Simba and Nala, which I think is pretty cool. And then Bandai Namco with their Tales of Symphonia remaster. Wasn't really a fan of the fact that they added this version of that port over, which isn't great. And then this is the way I would have ordered the edit when it came to this. Hit them hard just to end it, as you bring in two games that are highly sought after by people. The first being Metroid Prime Remaster. Now, as of this recording, the game's been available now for a while. The physical version is not available until later. They haven't, from what I understand, they haven't got a physical version until, I think, March. But that's so cool, the fact that they've brought this back in. And I have a theory on this one. Bear with me. Put on your tinfoil hat if you want. My theory is that they have Metroid Prime 2 and 3 ready to go before the newest one that they're releasing, Metroid Prime 4, I think it is. They have a remaster of each of those two ready to go, so that they can literally drop them at other dates throughout the year, just before they drop the latest one, the latest in the Metroid Prime franchise. I'd say 2024 or 2025 when the new console drops. So they're going to drop, in my opinion, Metroid Prime when they release their Nintendo Switch 2 or whatever they want to call it. I think that will drop with that. and it will be one of their year one titles that they will release it with. And I think that's my theory on that one, and I feel like it's a logical conclusion to come to, in my opinion, unless Nintendo double down even more on keeping the Nintendo Switch going for as long as they can until the sales diminish to the point where no one else is buying them, and then they would probably release a Nintendo Switch Plus, Pro, Alpha, whatever you want to call it, and then with a new SoC that's more powerful and can run games at 1080p 60 fps or 1440 and at 60 fps or higher fps, because more fps is best in my opinion. You don't need 4K. And then to wind out the whole thing, they went hard on Zelda straight out the gate with a bam cinematic trailer right there, showing off some beautiful vistas, showing off thunder, making it ominous. Obviously, you guys know this is Tears of the Kingdom. This is the new one that comes out this year, and I honestly feel that this one will be underpowered and not as good as it could be because of the fact that they aren't releasing a new console. Now, I know I sound like I'm harping on about that, but that's just my opinion. I feel like Nintendo are kind of reluctant to stop making games for the Nintendo Switch and push out a new console when the Nintendo Switch console sales are still doing just as great as they have been. They aren't doing like ridiculously low numbers, but they are still putting out numbers that the company would be proud of. And I feel like Nintendo are trying to cash in as much as they can on those hardware sales before they release a new console, because they know that people who are adopting over to the Nintendo Switch now won't adopt over to a new one within the first year unless there are some very big titles, like obviously the new Metroid Prime, Superman Odyssey 2, and some other big titles like a new Zelda is announced, and this will be out on the new console day one. But that's just my opinion. That's just how I see it. They ended out with a nice, beautiful Tears of the Kingdom logo, and then they show off what's available in the collection of the standard edition and the collector's edition, and they show off an amiibo. But that being said, guys, I would love to know what you guys think. Are you going to get any of these games? Did you like the edit I put together for it? You think that there are better games that they could have added in there, or do you feel like it's an A plus, whatever? Let me know what your rating for the game is and for the Nintendo Direct is. I personally think that they did a solid A minus, and the only reason why I give it an A minus is because I feel like some of the editing that has gone into making that production for the event was a bit higgledy-piggledy, and it changed the tempo way too much. It didn't ride the hype well. It went up and down and like, yeah, and kind of, it was all over the place. It didn't really keep itself consistent. That being said, that was my opinion. Thank you for watching. Again, there will be a link to this whole thing down in the description, so you can go and watch the Nintendo Direct for yourself. Thank you for watching, guys. And as always, be safe, be well, have fun gaming, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.